welcome back. Another episode of Guards Talk, episode 3. Um, Third week of the season. One more week left of April, and Guardians are still cooking with gas even. So, only one loss since the last episode. Can't do much better than that. They took two of the next three at Boston. Lost 2-0. Offense just wasn't there that game. Ben Lively actually pitched pretty well in his Guardians debut. Had a balk that scored a run that he got pretty upset about. But, I mean, you can't win a game if you score 0 runs. It's just how it works. I mean, who? Tanner Houck? Tanner Houck threw. Sorry, I'm pulling the game up. Tanner Houck threw a Maddox, which, for those unaware, is when a pitcher throws a complete game shutout on less than 100 pitches, named after the man who threw the most of them in the majors, Greg Maddox. But side note, yeah, it was Tanner Houck. 9 strikeouts. Was it the sinker and the slider, or maybe the splitter? He had something working. Good props to him. Just an unwinnable game, really. But other than that, the starting pitching has been fine, is pretty much the best way to put it. They seem to be allergic to pitching 6 innings, which is not sustainable business model. Also just like not giving up a ton of hits and also being able to get out of jams, which I don't know. You would like to hope that that's a trait that is repeatable, but I mean, bad luck is going to catch up to you. I feel like the Guardians have been, I won't lie, a relatively lucky team so far, but at the same time, like, you don't win close games just by being lucky, so far it seems like the guys have been up to the task that they've been given, and they just don't give up. Which is a great trait. I mean, the thing is, in the major leagues, like, everyone is obviously good at baseball. There's no denying that. Everyone is comparable levels, I would say. And what differentiates good teams from bad teams a lot of times is clubhouse personality. I don't know. That's what can take a team like the Guardians, who on paper are not a top 10 team in the league, might not even be top half, but the parts of their whole are they just blend together so much better than any team or most teams in baseball, it seems like. Pitching, they've struggled with walks a little bit. They're 7th worst in the league in walks per 9. But enough about the pitching. Bullpen has still been just showing up and showing out, especially Hunter Gaddis. He's been honestly probably my favorite pitcher to watch on the Guardians this year. Really just throwing fastball slider too, but he's tunneling well, which is where I don't know why I'm explaining so much. Maybe some of my grandparents are watching. Hi, Grammy Linda. Hi, Grandpa Fred. And but yeah, it's when basically two pitches will start the same, so the fastball and slider will look the same until it gets about halfway there, and then the slider goes off, and it's just, unless you're guessing the right pitch, it's impossible to hit. So they've been doing really well. The bullpen, Beatty and Cade Smith had a couple struggles. So we'll see how they do going forward. If they can bounce back to what they looked like the first couple weeks. But hitting, what the Guardians have been doing so well all year, and is also why they're able to outperform. But their offense has been really good. But they're capitalizing is what they're doing is hitting with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Their OPS, on base plus slugging, is 837 as a team. Their average is 277. They're getting hits. They're driving people in. Slugging is almost 500. So they're keeping the inning going and getting themselves into scoring position or scoring themselves on home runs. Josh Naylor has been obliterating baseballs while also controlling his swing, not striking out as much, walking more. He loves to swing at that first pitch, which I'm not complaining about. Half the time he smacks it in the gap or over the wall. So also that clip of him smashing his head with the bat was pretty funny. See if I can insert that. But yeah, Jimenez bounced back from a slow week in the second week, hitting 300 in the past week again. Tyler Freeman, someone that I wanted to talk about. He's been crushing the ball. Smacked one over the Green Monster out onto, what is it, Lansdowne Street in Fenway. I might have that wrong, but yeah, Utah Street is in Baltimore, I think. Carnegie in Ontario is in Cleveland. Everyone knows that. At least Cleveland fans know that. But yeah, playing a great center field too. Really, I don't know. Really lucky for the Guardians that just worked out after Miles Straw has proven to just be horrible, unfortunately, year after year, the past couple of years. And he's struggling in Columbus too. So, would you look at that? Yeah, Stephen Kwan also, looking at his stats, hitting 364. Seems like he just is on base every single at bat he has. Also, just said this so many times, just setting up as the leadoff man, seeing as many pitches as possible, and then telling it. I saw a clip of him talking about how Naylor and him, like, he'll come back and talk about what pitchers the pitcher's throwing, give the team a heads up. And he's just so smart. He's so disciplined, and he's still 24, 25 years old. I don't know exactly, but that's the thing, is this team is still so young. And they have a couple more years together, at least the young guys do, and Jose still's got a couple more years on his contract, I believe. And yeah, geez, getting all kinds of blow-ups right now on my phone, but I'm just going to leave that in because it's only going to get 10 views anyway. So, yeah, worst player this past week has been Jose. Surprisingly enough, he's just not had any hard hit balls, really. I have Do Not Disturb on it, and it's still going through like crazy, jeez. God, no big deal. Yeah, something else I found that was interesting is just the Guardians. They haven't really been stealing bases like they did like last year, and that's been a part of their game for a few years now, is just how much they steal. They're 10th in the league with 19. Third in the league is 27, and then I did not realize this, but the Nationals and the Reds have stolen 38 and 39 stolen bases respectively. That's twice as much as the teams in 10th. That's crazy how much they're stealing. 39 bases in 22 games. And the bottom of the list is funny too. Teams that have stolen single-digit bases so far this year: Cardinals, White Sox, Rockies, Twins, and Cubs. Cubs have stolen 4 bases all year. Pretty funny stuff. But yeah, I think that'll about wrap it up for this episode. They host Boston again, playing on a team they've played before and kicked their butts. So if I had to guess, hopefully they take 2 out of 3 again. Maybe this is where we start to see a bit of a decline from the team. And then I know they go to Atlanta after that, so that'll be a tough series. Just don't get swept. But sometimes they do pretty well against pretty good teams, so maybe the Braves will be on a decline by that point. So, but best team in baseball, 16-6. I don't know. Yes, they've played 7 games against the A's. The A's are not a bad team this year. We just made them look like a we won 6 out of 7 against them. I don't know. Seems like they had their number this year. Bybee, also, just mention him quickly, had a little bit of a get-back start against the A's this past series. So I believe he had 8 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, something like that. So good to see him working again. But yeah, this team should be really, really good. Hopefully they can keep this momentum going, especially once they get Manzardo up, who should be up hopefully in the next few weeks. He's been crushing in Columbus. And Gavin Williams, I know he threw a simulated game in Arizona a few days ago, so should be back in a week or 2. So things are looking good so far. Nothing to complain about. Yeah, these guys are just getting it done. Even the bench guys like Arias, Fry, and Florial have all been really pulling their weight recently. It's just bench guys. I mean, they've been above league average hitters. So yeah, this has been Guards Talk episode 3. See you guys back here next week, and stay safe and have a great day. See you guys.